This is the new Tennessee Titans Stadium. Sitting in Nashville, this $2.1 billion mega stadium promises to bring unparalleled amenities both to Tennessee and the NFL. It's attempting to transform the area into a world-class sports entertainment destination. But beneath its sleek design and promises of grandeur lies a storm of controversy. Many decisions regarding the multi-billion-dollar stadium, such as its public funding and perceived design flaws, have sparked widespread disagreement. For one of the most intriguing stadium projects around the world, this is the new Nissan Stadium. Welcome to Music City. An area that now generates over $10 billion annually from tourism alone has been experiencing exceptional population growth. Along with all this expansion, the city and their coveted NFL team are trying to steal the stage. In October of 2022, the Nashville mayor officially announced the controversial new deal for the stadium, which we'll go through in detail in a few minutes. The new stadium was to sit directly northeast of the existing stadium, where a massive parking lot sat. The existing stadium, also named Nissan Stadium, has a concrete and steel structure and a seating capacity of 69,000. It served as the home of the Tennessee Titans since its opening in 1999. To evaluate the stadium's condition and potential maintenance costs through the lease ending in 2039, the city hired an independent group for a thorough assessment. The preliminary report indicated that renovating Nissan Stadium to a first-class condition facility would cost the city between $1.75 and $1.95 billion. Following this, Titans ownership decided to commission a design for an entirely new stadium. The designer was Manica Architecture. They've done some major stadium projects within the past decade, like the Allegiant Stadium for the Las Vegas Raiders, the Chase Stadium for Inter Miami, and the Chase Center for the Golden State Warriors. And on top of Manica, TVS was to serve as the architect of record. The new stadium will be fully covered. The 338,000 square foot roof will be permanently installed with ETFE material. ETFE, or ethylene tetrafluoroethylene, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, is a light permeable plastic-like material that has been used in the roofing of other major venues like SoFi Stadium. There were considerations for using a retractable roof, but it wasn't deemed cost-effective due to the infrequent usage. The exterior terraces and porches will offer panoramic views of Nashville and will function as social spaces during event days. The design includes a 21-foot-tall wraparound halo display linking the primary video screens on either end zone. This large-scale video board will be right around 40,000 square feet in total. The facility is expected to hold about 60,000 spectators, which is nearly 10,000 fewer than the existing stadium, making it the smallest venue in the NFL in terms of capacity. And although this seems like a step in the wrong direction, it would still be suitable to host a Super Bowl. The seating arrangement will supposedly enhance sightlines and bring fans closer to the action, but when 10,000 seats are being eliminated, this is something that you would expect to happen. The playing surface will be made of artificial turf, despite the numerous safety concerns for the players brought about by the NFLPA. The new stadium will encompass 1.8 million square feet in total and will also include a 12,000 square foot community space. As seen in the renderings, there will be several bars and lounges around the stadium that should provide primetime views of the action on game days. And in November of 2023, a 20-year sponsorship deal was announced. It officially named the new facility Nissan Stadium, which was officially being referred to as Tennessee Stadium. This agreement continues the partnership established in 2015 when the current Tennessee Titans venue was first named Nissan Stadium. The groundbreaking ceremony occurred on February 29th of 2024. It was highlighted by Titans owner, Nashville's mayor, and the governor of Tennessee. As part of the ceremony, the construction plan was discussed, as well as the impact the stadium would have on Nashville. Following the ceremony, construction officially kicked off. This process started by clearing the massive parking lot and grinding down what remained. In mid-July, it was announced that over 340,000 cubic yards of dirt had been excavated and approximately 2,000 yards of concrete had been poured. Additionally, more than 520 of the 767 piers had been drilled, with the remaining ones expected to be completed by mid-August. As of today's progress, you can see that some of the concrete columns as well as the structure work on the north side of the plot have kicked off. The The construction is expected to be completed by 2027, ready for the Titans' 27-28 season. Once the new stadium is constructed, the existing stadium would be torn down. Most information suggests that it'll turn into a large parking lot for the new stadium, but some suggest the city may try and find some other use for it, like a future Nashville Major League Baseball stadium. This would of course further limit the parking, but it all remains to be seen. You can watch a real-time live view of the construction, which I'll link in the description of the video if you want to check it out after this one. The new stadium is set to cost a grand total of $2.1 billion. Of this amount, only $810 million will be paid for by a combination of the Titans ownership, the NFL, and personal seat licenses. This only represents 38.6% of the total cost, and it's not even entirely coming from the team's owners. An additional $500 million chunk will be coming directly from the state of Tennessee. And although it has been said multiple times that it's not directly funded by state taxpayers' dollars, it's hard to believe that it wouldn't have any effect on taxes or be derived from taxpayer money. The final portion of the funding, totaling $760 million, will be from revenue bonds issued by the Metro Sports Authority. These bonds are to be repaid via taxes collected at the stadium. Also, as part of repaying this money, the Titans will be using funding from Nashville's new 1% hotel-motel tax. This structure marked the largest stadium subsidy in US history, making the total amount of public funding for the new Buffalo Bills stadium seem a lot more normalized. Because of this, the public had obvious concerns, with some for and some against building the new stadium. And many of these concerns were voiced at the Metro Council held in April of 2023.
This plan could kickstart new transformative infrastructure for mobility in Nashville.
We are not all against having a new stadium. We are just against this deal. And there's no clear benefit for our city.
After this was held, the council voted 26-12 in favor of building the stadium. Nashville Mayor John Cooper claims it was a huge win for taxpayers in the area. Under the old contract, the city of Nashville was almost entirely liable for upgrades and renovations to the existing stadium. But things really started to get a bit fuzzy when I did more research. The current average age of a stadium in the NFL is around 28 years old. This means the average stadium was constructed in 1996, or about 3 years before the construction of the existing Nissan Stadium. So why exactly does a stadium that's newer than the average need to get replaced? Perhaps the answer lies in the original lease, signed in 1996, which stipulates that the city provides a first-class stadium. Instead of replacing the stadium due to structural or safety concerns, it seems that the stadium is solely being constructed to enhance its modernity and functionality. Some have speculated that the ownership of the team strongly suggested building the new stadium to increase the value of the team. After all, if a $2 billion stadium was to be built and Titans ownership would have to pay some amount less than 38.6% of it, well, it sounds like a pretty good deal. This seems like an appropriate time to mention Steve Ballmer, who financed the new Intuit Dome for the Los Angeles Clippers entirely with private funds. If you look at a poll carried out by the Beacon Center, 61% of Tennesseans disagree with state funding of the new stadium, and it's generally pretty hard to argue against public opinion. This is not to say that the new stadium won't offer new benefits to the city of Nashville. There's a good chance that the city will see an increased amount of revenue because of all of the potential new events that the stadium can host. The exact economic effect that the stadium has in the area remains to be seen and will vary in large part based on how many major events the stadium will hold. Outside of the Super Bowl, some of the major events it could contend for would be Final Fours, college football playoffs, and WrestleMania. Despite the controversy, the project is undeniably impressive and will attract significant attention and interest from NFL fans. In a few years, Nashville may have a new major destination beyond Broadway. If you enjoyed watching the video, please consider checking out some of my other content. If you want to help the future of the channel, leave some feedback via the Google Forms link in the description. Either way, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.